What is up, everyone? Today we'll be looking at the newly released Lurantis in the Open Great League. Lurantis is a pure grass type with a very good move pool. It has access to Fury Cutter and Razor Leaf as fast moves, and then Leaf Blade, Superpower, Leaf Storm, and Scizzor as charge moves. Out of these moves, I would definitely recommend you run Fury Cutter, Leaf Blade, and Superpower. I think that is the best move set. Leaf Blade is just an amazing move, and you get to them so quickly with Fury Cutter, as you can see in this first battle. I can get to 3 Leaf Blades before Azumarill gets to 2 Ice Beams. Just so strong. And then Superpower comes out so quickly as well, and you can hit the Steel types and Dark types for super effective with it. I think Leaf Storm could also be considered, though, to replace Leaf Blade, because it's just such an amazing nuke, and with the Fury Cutter you will get to it so quickly. The only problem is then that you're running like 2 debuffing moves then, which is not ideal. Overall, I think Lurantis is a very strong Pokemon. I think the main problem with Lurantis is that it's pure grass, which means it's pretty bad defensive typing. So, like, finding a solid team with it, I think is quite difficult. Because it's a pure grass typing, you're gonna have to cover for its weakness to ice, fire, flying, and also charmers can be quite problematic, because with Fury Cutter you're hitting those for resisted, and if they just double shield, they kill you and they barely take any damage. So finding a solid squad with it is quite difficult, which is why in this video I'm running a pretty boring team with G-Fisk and Sableye in the back. You've seen me run this before with Venusaur, and it works quite well with Lurantis as well. I might try to find some more creative teams later though, because there are definitely some possibilities, even though it's hard. In this second game, we lead into an Alolan Ninetales running Charm, which is a little better for me than Powder Snow, that's for sure. But these charms are really adding up. Lurantis is quite squishy, so it cannot take many charms. You can see here, might be able to get to a couple moves though. I CMP'd on the first one. And as you can see, I pressed my move already, and somehow it's gonna CMP as well, which is kinda wild. I don't know how that happened, but it did. It saved me like a turn or so, and I'm gonna be able to reach the Leaf Blade now. Even if that doesn't happen though, you should be able to reach this if your Lurantis has good enough IVs. This is why I would definitely recommend you get a Lurantis with like high enough HP. Just get as high ranked 1 as you can get, to be honest, and you should be able to win that matchup pretty consistently, as long as you time your moves appropriately. You have to make sure you time your Leaf Blades at the end of their charm in order to get to that second Leaf Blade, and you will actually be able to win that matchup in the ones, which is really good. Anyway, next up, my opponent has a Medicham and a Sableye in the back, which at this point I am looking pretty good. I just go straight Rock Slide to take out the Sable, or at least bring it very low. And after this, my own Sable, I should be able to take out both Pokemon in the back. Honestly, I played this a little wrong, I think. I should have probably done a couple more Shadow Claws on this Sableye to get it in a range where 2 Rock Slides knock out. Because now I do these Shadow Claws later when the Sableye has farmed up a ton, and I have to shield up a Foul Play, which is not ideal. But yeah, I should still be fine. They Power Punch me though. At this point, I'm kind of worried. They have like Ice Punch. If they're running Power Punch, Ice Punch, it could still get very close, because a boosted Ice Punch would definitely do damage. This Foul Play won't knock out yet, but at least it will put it very low. Deep into the red. I need 3 Shadow Claws here, but you're gonna see this this Ice Punch is gonna hurt. They're actually running a crazy moveset on that thing, and it almost wins them the game. 1 Shadow Claw though knocks out the Sable. We win, GG. Next up, we have a Jellicent Lead, which even though it's a water type, this is not great for Lurantis. As you can see, my Fury Cutters are doing absolutely nothing, because they are resisted, and the Hexes are actually already adding up. Because Lurantis is just so squishy. Anything will hurt it. Just like this Shadow Ball would if I no-shield it. So being afraid of it, I shield it up. Shadow Ball does like, I think 60, 70-ish%, so a lot of damage. And Ice Beam basically kills, so definitely gotta shield it up. But if you get Bubble Beam baited, that's also not great. They'll actually end up winning the ones if they Bubble Beam bait, so not an ideal matchup for Lurantis, unfortunately. But since I shield up correctly, I was able to get to the 3rd Leaf Blade before this Shadow Ball. I'm gonna end up shooting up anyway, though. I farm up a little bit, go to Sableye here, hoping to farm this down before the Shadow Ball. They do get to a move, unfortunately, but this is not the Shadow Ball just yet. This is just a Bubble Beam, which I'm fine with. I'm just gonna sacrifice my my Sableye anyway. I'm expecting like a hard... Like usually with Jellicent Lead, there's like 2 hard answers to Sableye in the back, so sacrificing it is not a bad idea, to be honest. But they end up not really having a great Sableye answer. They bring in a Stunfisk, which it generally does beat Sableye, but it's not that great. These foul plays will still hurt, even though I'm debuffed. I barely get to my second one. Barely get to my second one, because that Earthquake left me at 1 HP. This leaves the Stunfisk in Leafblade range, though, so I'm gonna farm up a little bit. A little bit too much, unfortunately, because I do get hit by the Rock Slide here. This was not the plan, but it did happen. At this point, I'm going to try to farm up more, but they bring in their Altaria, which they have stored up in the back. And at this point, Stunfisk should be able to finish things off. Because, well, actually, their Stunfisk is still kind of healthy in the back. That thing could still be problematic, because I need to Earthquake it with my own Stunfisk. Or... wear out the switch timer enough to where I can command Lurantis to Leafblade, because it is definitely in Leafblade range as well. And then there's also still the lead, oh yeah, the Jellicent with some HP in the back as well, which could also be problematic. Anyway, I get hit by another Sky Attack. I'm just gonna throw this immediately. I don't want this Altaria switching out for whatever reason. Honestly, I could have farmed up more, but I don't think it really mattered. To bring in Fisk here, I'm gonna farm up close to another Rock Slide, throw the Leafblade right before they get to their own Rock Slide, kill this Stunfisk. The Jelly will be able to farm down Lurantis, but it should only get 1 Hex. And since I'm 1 Rock Slide away, or 1 Mudshot away, I get there way before Shadow Ball. And we kill it, and so GG. Alright, how does Lurantis do versus Steels? We see a Perrserker in the lead, which is incredibly spicy. You don't see that often. But I got superpower for this thing, so... probably not too bad for me. Probably not too bad. Versus the more common steals, though, like Bastiodon, G-Fisk. Lurantis actually does pretty well as well, but it's usually quite bait dependent. I assume this matchup is as well, so Leafblade baited first, which they shielded. Now we shoot power. Bye-bye, Perrserker. Here comes Sableye. Since I'm debuffed, I'm not gonna stay in, even though Lurantis versus Sableye is actually a pretty okay matchup. Sableye does win that, because the Shadow Claws just add up too much, and a foul play ends up killing. But you're gonna get it very low with Fury Cutters and Leafblade. Of course, I survived one foul play with the Sable. Gonna throw my own. They're gonna throw their own their second one right before mine. Fine. At this point, they should be in farm down range for Lurantis. They bring in their Mew immediately, though, and look at those Fury Cutters chunk. I mean, Fury Cutter, very weak move. Like damage-wise, energy-wise, of course, it's insane, but damage-wise, very weak, but still, they are adding up. They are really adding up on this Mew. This Leafblade should do a lot of damage. Probably doesn't knock it out quite yet, but put it in range where my G-Fisk can farm it down. And look at that, basically put it at 5% already. Really good. Should be able to farm this down with the G-Fisk now. Farm it down, and now have a Rock Slide stored for its Sable. They know it's over, so they concede GG. Lurantis versus Walrein. Not an ideal lead, to be honest. Even though Walrein is, of course, Water type, and both my charge and hit for super effective. They also have Ice type moves. And they will kill. And even though I will outpace this thing to 2 Leaf Blades, my Leaf Blades won't knock them out. And the Fury Cutters just don't do enough. So... generally, I believe you do lose this in the 0s and 1s, but I think once you get to the 2s, you actually win this matchup, because the Fury Cutters have added up enough. But let's see. Yeah, they do get to another move here. They don't die with Leaf Blade. Like I said, the Icicle Spear will knock out, so I shield it up. I don't want to get hit by another one, so catch on my Sableye. Yeah, you don't even win the 2s there, apparently. So not a great matchup, but as you can see, it brought it very low. I'm able to farm this down with Sableye after taking this Icicle Spear. In comes a Nidoqueen, which is not a bad matchup for Sableye. So I'm very fine with that. Very fine with that. Gonna let go of this Poison Fang. Of course, don't have any shields. I feel like they should have gone for Earth Power, to be honest. It's less energy than 2 Poison Fangs. And they're not gonna be able to farm me down. Actually, they can take this foul play. They probably are able to farm me down, but I think my opponent ends up making a mistake here and CMP tying with me. Yeah, they do. Yeah. I think my opponent could have farmed me all the way down after that foul play, and then it would have had a lot of energy stored, which would have been problematic for my G-Fisk. At this point, though, I can just farm it all the way down, which is fine. It goes Medi, though, which is... Medi is a problem for both of my Pokemon, because these counters are really adding up on Lurantis. Luckily, there's a Power Punch, which I can take, but I gotta throw my Leaf Blade immediately, otherwise I will die. This will hopefully put it in range where I can Earthquake it, though. They are able to farm up more on my Lurantis. And now I'm taking powered up counters, which is not ideal. Honestly, I think switching in Lurantis was a mistake. I should have gone for the Earthquake immediately on Stunfisk, because then I would have taken more like counters before they were boosted, instead of taking these boosted counters now. Still take out the Medi though, and I get to this Rock Slide before they get to the Earth Power, and it's game over. GG. Close one though. Very, very close one. Nidoqueen Lead. This is terrible. I gotta switch out of here immediately into my Sableye, which they don't seem to have a very good counter swap to. They sort of throw their Poison Fang before they dip out, and in they go with their own Sableye. I think I had a little bit of Charge Move pause there because they got in Shadow Claw before I was even moving. But you know, that's fine. I don't think that really matters. In the end, they're gonna take me out with this foul play. Bring back in Lurantis here, because I don't need it anymore. I will preserve health though, so I'm gonna Leaf Blade this before they get to another foul play. Might be able to throw a Leaf Blade onto the Nidoqueen as well. Yeah, that's what I end up doing. Throw right before they get to another Fang. I think I end up doing like 2 more Fury Cutters and switching to Fisk, hoping to catch a move. That's what I do, but unfortunately I do not throw the Throw Mover, and now it is a bait call. It is a bait call. I'm actually expecting the Earth Power here, and I do shoot it up correctly. If they had thrown a Poison Fang, that would have been quite devastating. In comes Mediocre. This is really bad. This is really, really bad. Especially since I end up Charge Move pausing again. They get another free falls within this time, a counter, and this could actually be quite devastating for me, unfortunately. Because I will end up taking a shield here, and my switch timer will almost be up again. They have the Ice Punch, does a lot. I go for the Rock Slide. This will shield. Go into Lurantis, and I barely don't reach the Leaf Blade. Unfortunately, they counter me down, and I get the Ice Punch onto my Stunfisk, and it's a GG. Very close one, but couldn't make it happen. Trevenant Lead. This is definitely a bit of a core breaker because both G-Fisk and Lurantis do quite bad here. So I switch into my Sableye instantly. I say G-Fisk is quite bad there, but G-Fisk actually does have some play. So I'm hoping to get it lined up versus it at the end. They end up no-shooting my bait from Sableye. Honestly, that's kind of a 50-50 call, but half of them shield, half of them don't. I was hoping they'd shield this time, but they didn't. I'm just gonna throw again because I assume they might want switch, but they don't. Probably means they have another thing strong against Lurantis in the back. So that is not something I can know in the lead. So yeah, they end up not having to use any shields and taking me out. And at this point, I know it's over. The Trevenant will sweep both my Lurantis and the G-Fisk, so I just save time and concede. Not a Pokemon that's easy to beat for this team, unfortunately. Alright, Bastiodon Lead. This is a pretty interesting lead because Superpower, of course, double super effective, but they can one-shot me with a flamethrower as well. I end up throwing 1 Fury Cutter too late here. You want to throw 1 before they are at 7 Smackdowns. At that point, you are at 2 Superpowers, but I ended up CMP tying, unfortunately, which means I will have to burn the shield. If they, I'm assuming they shoot up here, which means I will just switch to Sableye immediately. Actually, instant switch into their own Gloom, or their own Pokemon as well. Gloom in this case. Razor Leaf. Probably another Razor Leafer in the back, right? Probably a pretty Grass Hole with a Victory Bell. Which Lurantis should be pretty okay again. So I'm feeling good at this point. Just gonna take out this Gloom. Maybe I could have farmed down. Razor Leaf's really adding up though, so I don't think it was necessary. In comes Victory Bell. Just gonna bring in Lurantis here because I still got the G-Fist for the Bastiodon too, which can also take out the Victory Bell. So I'm looking really, really good here. Throw a Leaf Blade just to take the shield. This Victory Bell should be in range where a Rock Slide knocks out. I'm just gonna let this move go. Leaf Blade doesn't knock me out. Acid Spray is very likely as well, which I do catch here, so pretty good. Just gonna Rock Slide the Victory Bell. Even if they caught this on Bastiodon, it would have been fine, so I didn't take any care in trying to make sure it didn't catch. And it killed the Victory Bell, and then now it's over, so they can see GG. Lurantis into Venusaur, not a great lead, because I have no charge move that can hit them for super effective, or even neutral. They're all resisted, or double resisted in Superpowers or Leafblade Skates. And again, one-shot me with Sludge Bomb. I actually tried to throw my Superpower 1 before their Sludge Bomb, but I keep over-tapping by one Fury Cutter, so I CMP again. That seems to be a common theme. I need to learn how to use these one-turn moves, so I try to catch here, but I don't know, we get a little bit of stutter lag, so it didn't really work out. But I'm getting a Frenzy on my Stunfisk. I don't know if they were really trying to throw either, so honestly, they probably wouldn't have thrown anyway, so I don't think that stutter lag really mattered. It just felt bad in the moment, but I don't think it really mattered. I get a shield back with a Rock Slide. They're gonna throw another Frenzy. I just let this go. This is fine with me. I knew they overfarmed a little bit, so I'll just come in back in with Lurantis, throw the Leaf Blade before they can get to another move. This should take him out. Hey, but how much energy I still have. I still have full freaking Leaf Blade and a bit. In comes Shadow Banette, which is all fine. I don't think my opponent was expecting me to get to these moves so fast, because they shield that up and I get to another Leaf Blade. Really, really spamming those moves. I farmed down the Banette with the Sableye at this point, because I didn't think I'd be able to Fury Cutter down. In comes Registeel, and at this point, it is just over. I really want to finish this off with Lurantis at this point, because I should be able to superpower it, but my opponent knows it's over, and they can see GG. That was the final battle. I hope you enjoyed this Lurantis Spotlight. Of course, I did run it with, like, Stunfisk, Sableye, which did carry a little bit. But I do think Lurantis still put in a lot of work. I think it's a very strong Pokemon. Just a bit rough to build a solid squad around, because it does have some pretty hard to cover for weaknesses. Anyway, see you in the next video. Bye-bye.